The topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Welcome, dear souls. Thank you for coming to our channel. We ask you please to subscribe and to tell others about it. A little angel to my, over the other way, is a stained glass that I had done many, many years ago. And it doesn't represent any particular angel. It's not my guardian angel or anything like that. But on the other side, that is a hooked rug that I did a long time ago to represent the dove of peace over the world. And I figured now is a good time to hang that up. But eventually we're going to have another art project that's going to go up there. I'm working on 3 archangels made of wood, plywood, and they're going to be painted red, bright yellow, and purple. And they will represent the Archangel Michael, the Archangel Uriel, and the Archangel Emmanuel. And I will be hanging them somewhere in my house. I don't know where, but that's the project that has come into my mind. And when I get an idea, I try to follow it through as faithfully as I see it. And so I hope that you are allowing that joy of creation to fill your mind and your heart and your hands with something that you can make beautiful, that you can either give away or that you can put in your home. So these 3 archangels are in the process and they've been painted now. I'm going to be adding ornamentations to them and mosaics of mirrors and other things so they represent who they are. For example, Michael will have a sword, which I found in the flea market, as well as this lovely little rose and earrings and a bracelet was at the flea market in Crystal River. So I'm giving them a plug. That's Florida, of course. Crystal River, Florida. Each person has their own little booth. And at this one booth, I found these wonderful pieces of roses, and I couldn't help but purchase them. So today, our topic is going to be about emotions, and particularly love. Everybody wants love in their life, and they don't realize that it has to begin within themselves. There are times when we have self-doubt, and I know I have a lot of self-deprecation, which means I put myself down, I don't think I'm good enough, and then I have to kind of slap myself alongside the face and say, I am good enough. If I've had the inspiration, my angels are going to help me make that inspiration a reality. And that little over here, that is one example of the hooked pieces that we did. Now that's made with 100% wool. Some of it is hand dyed, and the other is just found in clothing, 100% wool clothing. If you go online and you look for traditional or primitive rug hooking, you can even get some kits to begin doing it because it's a wonderful craft, and it's a wonderful, almost lost art form. So, okay, so here we go. Today, again, we're going to talk about emotions. And Raphael, we're going to be reading from Raphael's book, which is why I have the earphones on. So, Raphael says, think of your emotions as the engine that drives an idea into physical reality. While fear can shut down an idea in a second, joy can fuel your emotions with great passion and excitement that can drive the idea into reality. We cannot speak too often of this truth. Therefore, we again spend the time with you on a study of how your emotions can either serve you or become a barrier to having your needs met. And we've got this emotions equal energy, And this is on page 95 of Raphael's book, Ask Raphael. You can get it on Amazon. You look up Betty Ray, Ask Raphael, and you will find it. And it's $14.44 plus shipping. And so we recommend that you get this book. It has all of your questions answered because that's what it's about. It's a channeled work, as we say on the bottom here. It's a conversation with the Archangel Raphael. And so we do recommend that you go to Amazon and you purchase it and then give us a rating because that helps to bring it up on the scale as to being something that is worth reading. And we do recommend it. You would be very happy, so do so. So today we're talking about joy and about love. Those are the things everybody wants in their life. How do we get them? How do we hold on to them once we have them? Well, I have to tell you the truth. You can't. They're like the will-o'-the-wisp. They come and they go. You can think you've got the joy will just surge through you because some team won, your favorite team won, and you'll just be up there jumping around and happy. And then the next minute they screw up and you're ready to pound somebody. That's emotions. That's human emotions. They're up and they're down and they're all around you and they're being fired by other people at you or they're being embraced by you by the love that they give you. Emotions are what makes the world go round. And yet they are the most complex and misunderstood part of the human being. Your emotions are a package that comes with your spirit. And your soul carries those emotions into each lifetime. Not all of them. Usually it picks a few that it wants to deal with that were not ending happily in the previous life. So it wants to bring that emotion back and the people that created the emotion, if it was a dissonance, and see if it can't be worked out because it's like a little thorn in your soul's side and it's just not going to go away until you have a chance to play out another story on earth stage and work it through. So if you have any kind of hate in your heart, and it could be simply about I hate it when the traffic's so bad, but hear that word and pay attention to it because hate is a signifier that your body is out of balance. And if you're saying, I hate this and I hate that, then your body is out of balance and you need to balance it with love and joy. And yet people say, well, how do I get love? I don't have a partner. You don't need a partner to have unconditional love for yourself. And that's what we're all called to do. That's calling in God's love, not the love somebody can give to you in a human form, because that is too um, come again and gone again, depending on that person's emotional balance at the time. Sometimes they could be really angry about the almost fist fight they had on the road rage, and they come home and they're all over the place, and you go, "What did I do wrong?" Well, you didn't do anything wrong. What happened was they got into a mess of emotional tanglement. And then they've got to try and balance it out. And sometimes they may take it out on you. Don't let them do that, though. Don't let another person take out their emotional problems on you. Just don't stand for it. Okay, so Raphael says emotions equal energy. Check your emotional energy gauge. Happy emotions equal a full tank. So when you're not happy and you're depressed, you have no energy. So let's take a look at that. Some of the things that will give you energy are inner peace. How the heck do you get inner peace? When you're in a state of financial problems, when you have illness, when you have pain, how do you find that inner peace? It's called unconditional love. In loving yourself unconditionally and knowing that the situation you're in right now is the reality for you right now. And if you love it, instead of hating it and fighting it and being angry at the world because of it, if you love it and accept it, it'll go away faster. The pain will lessen, your anger will dissipate, and you will feel an inner peace, no matter how much pain you're in, no matter how much turmoil you're in because of a relationship. Once you accept yourself as an unconditionally loving person and you do not expect other people to give you love, you give it to yourself, you will find that peace. So Raphael says peace holds the highest sense of euphoria for the soul. The highest sense of euphoria or joy for your soul. And then next is joy. We're talking about like a barometer of emotions. So the highest frequency of energy and joy is peace. Under that is joy. And it may seem to be a fleeting, come and gone experience, but once experienced, strive to bring it forth more often. This had me starting one of my books. I called it Joy. And I decided I was going to study joy because it seemed like an imp that would come again and then disappear before I could even have a chance to grab a hold of it. So I was in kind of an emotional roller coaster ride. And that can happen because of relationships where you think you have unconditional love and it turns out that you have more hatred than you have love. And that really gets confusing. But that's another story. So here is your emotions as far as it equaling energy. When you have inner peace, you are emoting the most energy that is possible for you. It's the most um, poignant and most potent type of creativity that you can have when you have that inner peace. And then under that is joy. And Raphael says, it may seem to be fleeting, come and gone experience, but once experienced, strive to bring it forth more often. That's what we read. Now, under that is unconditional love. You'd think that would be at the top, but no, actually, peace is at the top as far as how much energy it puts out. Think of yourself as your emotions being the fuel that gives you the energy to get up in the morning and do something. And if your emotions are way down low and no hardly any energy to them, then it's hard for you to even get up and get out of bed. But if you can find ways, if you can find the secret to getting that sense of joy back in your body, then you'll fly out of bed in the morning because you've got some project in mind. You can't wait to get at it. Or with me in my retirement, I've been reading a lot and I love to read. So this is a real thing for me. If I can't sleep, grab a book. And that usually doesn't put me to sleep. I have to put the book down and then try to sleep because once I get caught up in a book, I'm in it. I feel the emotions. I see the pictures that it tries to paint with words. So I love to read. So peace is brought on by allowing yourself to be perfect exactly the way you are. Because you are. You are perfect exactly the way you are. That's how God created you. And when you do the best you can do in each moment in time, nothing more is expected of you. You cannot be perfect. You cannot be happy and joyful and giddy and you can't be like that. It's not, if it's fake, it's really pretty sickening to put on a fake sense of joy. No, but you don't have to be a grouch either. And so, joy again seems to be come and go, but once you feel it, you beam with that in a smile and you present it as just in your eyes. You don't have to say anything to anybody. And especially now, because I still wear a mask wherever I go, I smile at everyone. And if I'm covered up, you can see it in my eyes when I look at you. And so I say to you, be at peace within yourself and allow the joy to bubble up within you and to kind of speak through your eyes without saying a word. Now, that means unconditional love, which is the next one on the emotional barometer. Unconditional love is without judgment or strings attached. It holds no conditions or emotional needs from another person. It accepts the divine spirit within as perfect and complete within God. Unconditional love. Can you hold that for everyone in your life? Can you test your power of love to accept people as perfect just as they are? That helps you to get rid of judgment. That helps you to understand that souls are maturing in their own time, and it takes lifetimes to become a mature soul. We have a lot of baby souls, and a lot of them get into politics, but they are doing what their soul inspires them to do, and they're doing the best they can do. Okay. Harmony is the next on the emotional energy barometer. Harmony is an inner song revealing all that is flowing well, is revealing that all is flowing well within your life. Humor is next. It displays a sense of fun, of being able to laugh at your mistakes and slowly eliminating self-judgment and self-doubt. That's a tough one. It's one I've dealt with all my life. Judging myself because I want to be perfect. I want to serve God with all my heart, my mind, and soul. That has been my statement since I could remember. And that's why I wanted to be a nun and to dedicate my life to God. Instead, I ended up being a mom of 4 kids and now 7 grandchildren. That was what really was my life's plan. So, what we're saying is harmony will come to you when you accept your life as perfect, exactly the way it is, where you have no regrets, where you might have screwed up at one time or another, but you did it with your own mind and heart, trying to do the best you could do, because you're not an evil person. You are a good person, or you wouldn't be even paying attention to this show. You are being called to watch this show so that you can expand the joy within you. That's what it's all about. And so, on that barometer, the next is humor. It displays a sense of fun, of being able to laugh at your mistakes and slowly eliminating self-judgment and self-doubt. We already repeated that, I realize, but I think it's important and needed to be repeated. After that is optimism, is knowing that all is well, regardless of what others may think. To be optimistic, to expect good to come from everything that happens to you, is not a fool's errand. It is a part of God within you that knows everything is good because everything is God. And so the next one is trust. Do you trust other people? Can you trust yourself? That's a big one, huh? Trust is a belief in another's integrity and honesty, of knowing that they will not betray you or think ill of you if you do something wrong. But you got to do that for yourself too. You can't beat yourself up. I'll get the right words out. If you screwed up in some way, if you hurt somebody's feelings, but you didn't mean to, because it's the intent that is the most important thing to look at. If you had no intentions to do any harm to another, but something that popped out of your mouth made them go, "What? How dare you say that about me?" Excuse me. Tickles. Okay, so trust is a very important part of your emotional energy barometer. You have to trust yourself, as well as trust that others are going to do the best they are doing, and that helps you to eliminate judgment. The next thing to show is appreciation. It is a sense of gratefulness, a giving thanks and acknowledging and appreciation for God's daily gifts. Then curiosity is the next one. Is an inner urge to know more, to seek answers to inner questions about the world around you. After all, you are the explorers of all the wonders of your planet and your place in it. That's why you're here. God has put you in a human suit to explore planet Earth and all that it has to offer. all the people on it as well. So the next one is desire. It is a wishing for or a longing for a person, place, or thing, or hoping for a specific future outcome. Okay. And the last is passion. Passion is an intense drive to fulfill a desire, an almost obsessive compulsion. Whoa. OCD, you know what that is? Obsessive compulsion disorder. That's what it is. That's when people have to check the locks 3 times. That's when people are constantly checking things because of the anxiety and fear within them. That's not what we're talking about when we're talking about passion. Passion means that you have a desire that is driving you. Just like these crazy ideas that I get of creating angels, and they're like 4 foot by 2 feet angels out of plywood, painting them and then decorating them with jewelry, with mirrors, uh, with ornaments that say speak as to who they are. For example, the Archangel Michael is going to have a sword that I found at that flea market I just told you about. Oh, it's gorgeous. And the next one is Uriel, and it's yellow. And that one's going to hold a book that's going to say Akashic. So it is the angel of the Akashic records, the angel of the mind, of all of the powers of the mind. And then the last one is the Archangel Emmanuel, and that's in purple. And it's going to show a cross. The cross, like, yes, the symbol of Christianity. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it is only Christianity that the archangel represents. All religious beliefs are held in the hands of Emmanuel. And so I have a book for Uriel, a sword for Michael, and I have a cross representing spiritual beliefs, not necessarily just Christianity. If I can find some other symbols that represent others, I will put them as part of that package with that archangel. But in the meantime, the ideas that I get are to paint them, these pieces of wood, in red for Michael, yellow for Uriel, and purple for Emmanuel, and then to decorate them. And that's been a process that I've been going through recently. So I still have some paint on my hands, but it's fun. And if you get an idea, follow through on it. Don't let it just sit up on the shelf for 2 years. Try to follow through on it. And you say you don't have time? Well, you need to make time to be creative, to express the spirit within you, to allow that. To even if you start moving the little knickknacks you have around your house and find a better place to put them, just doing that helps to get rid of the stagnant air that is around them. And do wash your knickknacks if there's something washable, because the energy can get stagnant. And when it does, it sort of takes your energy. And you don't want that. You want energy to be thriving in your house. It's called feng shui. And so we're talking here about your emotional energy tank. Let's get back to that point. And remember that there are things that can deplete that energy tank, and one of them is skepticism. And that is not accepting an idea or a theory until proven scientifically, factually, or experientially. That sure cuts off a lot of creative ideas. How do new inventions come about if you have to wait for that? Hmm. And anxiety. This will drain your energy tank. Is a fear that one's needs or those of another will not be met. If you feel depressed because what you need is not happening, if you feel depressed because the ideas you have are not working out, if you feel depressed because, then take a stand and talk to your angels, talk to God, and stamp your foot and say, I need help now. I need to know what to do to manifest what it is you, God, have given me to do. I can think of so many of you out there who want to create a new business or want to create a new job or want to create something, and it's just not working out for you. That's when you have to sit down and allow yourself to get creative ideas by calming down the mind, by getting rid of the negative feelings of impotence, of not being able to do it, and of revving up your emotions into joy. To know that you are exactly where you're supposed to be right now, and that when you can accept this moment with peace and joy in your heart, ideas will start to pop, and another one will pop, and another one will pop. And before you know it, what you didn't think you could solve gets solved. So, another thing that kind of drains your emotional energy tank is feeling overwhelmed. Phew, boy, do I know about that. Sometimes I bite off more than I can chew, and I just feel energy drained because I think, what have I done? Oh my God, I don't have time for this. I really don't. And then before you know it, you can't do anything. It just saps your energy so you don't even want to get out of bed because there are too many things running through your mind and you don't have time to do it. Well, here's the solution to that. Get a pencil and paper and write down the list, all the things you have to do, and then prioritize. Number one might be in the middle of the list. Number two might be at the bottom. Number three might be at the top. But prioritize and then take them one at a time and tackle them till they're done. Because when you feel overwhelmed is because you get discombobulated and you can't do anything because you have no energy to think clearly. And that's what you need to do is first of all give thanks to your angels and guides for helping you to make that list, to decide what is priority. What is it most important that you need to take care of now, that needs your attention and your energy now? And all the other stuff can just wait. And then when you have that attitude, suddenly there's a space open for you to sit down, take a breath, read a book, or watch some TV. Yep, that's what happens when you let go of the negative energy that clouds your mind and doesn't allow you to sort through and prioritize when you get overwhelmed. So here's another one, lust. Wow, okay, it's on the list and it says, is a passionate desire for experiencing physical pleasure without regard to the consequences. Oh boy, there's a lot of that in the world, isn't there? Yeah, to the point of forcing people. Yeah, there's too much of that. And there's too much of it in in the news of this person forced himself on her, blah blah. It's lust. It's the physical world being more important than the spiritual world. And usually it's because they're just beginner souls and all they know about is the physical world. They haven't been around enough or born long enough to know that the spirit world is what's priority. They just don't know better. There are baby souls out there that just don't know any better. And lust is one of the attributes of a baby soul. Okay, anger. Whew, it says, is a fierce belief that a need will not be met, causing the person to lash out at another who is believed to be responsible for their not having what they need. Excuse me. So, anger, whew, it's a biggie. There are so many people that are so angry, angry at the world, angry at their lives, angry at the people in their lives, anger, anger, anger. And it just burns them up inside. It tears them apart. It will never, ever bring them peace. And anger, Raphael says, is the fear that a need will not be met. So look at your anger and look for the need that has brought about that. Anger at somebody, anger because they disappointed you, because they didn't give you what you need, anger at your boss because the demands are more than you can stand, anger at the world because your needs aren't being met. Anger is not going to get you anywhere, dear souls. Pay attention to the anger because it is driving you to find a solution. It's the action emotion, Raphael calls it. Anger wants you to get out there and change things, not at the expense of someone else, but get your mind open to solutions to the problem by letting go of the negative emotions and allowing unconditional love to fill you up. And when you are full of love and joy, solutions pop just like that. Boom. I know you have to experience it. But then the next one is acceptance. It is letting go of trying to do it yourself and allowing divine help to intercede. We can push and push and push, and all we do is scrape our nose on a brick wall. That isn't going to get us anywhere, is it? So we step back and we say, okay, God, I give up. I don't know what to do next. And we breathe deeply and we say, inspire me as to the next step to take to reach the goals I've set for myself. Give me a sign. It's okay to ask for a sign, dear friends. Give me a sign, you can say. Show me what I need to do next. And until then, allow me to have peace within my heart in knowing that what I'm doing in this moment is for the honor and glory of God, and give thanks for it. So then, the next one on the list here is acceptance. It is a letting go of trying to do it yourself and allowing divine help to intercede. And the last one is discouragement. Reflects a lethargic belief that this is as good as it gets. Why try to change it? Now that's pretty much giving up. It isn't as good as it gets, although I'm thinking about the movie called As Good as It Gets, and it's pretty funny. And I would suggest you read it if you have that attitude or you watch the movie. And so once you can gather up your sense of humor, once you can allow yourself to laugh at life and not let it knock you down, once you know there is a divine plan for your life, and at that moment you are following it, and every experience you have is gathering wisdom for your soul. And that's why your soul is here. That's why it's taken on a physical suit to wear while it is exploring the planet Earth. Think of yourself as a space person, and you're only here to explore and to find out what it's like to bump shoulders with other humans who don't know they're just wearing a spacesuit for a short period of time. And once they leave, they're going to discuss everything they learned with the other spacemen who've come to planet Earth, who are at the same level of understanding as they are. You're not going to be talking to those beginner explorers of planet Earth because they're the ones that want to exploit the planet. They're the ones that want to find gold. They're the ones that want to be prosperous and abundant and have wealth to lord it over other people. They're the ones that want to rule the world. And they're not going to find what they're looking for. But when you come here with an open heart, when you come here with the joy of exploring this beautiful planet, you will do everything you can to save this planet from global warming. You will pray for it if you can't do anything technical, or you will find yourself in some kind of form or some kind of work that will be to find a green new earth. Okay. Raphael goes on to say, here we go. You are almost on an empty tank if you are experiencing the following. 1, Cynicism is a belief that what can go wrong will go wrong. We're talking about your energy tank. You are almost on empty if you are a cynic, or if you have doubt. It is the lack of trust in yourself, in others, and in God. Or if you have apathy, is the loss of any interest in creating new ideas or having new experiences. Or if you have depression, it is a lethargy that can immobilize and drain energy due to a belief that life is hopeless and will never get better. And the lowest of the low and the practically empty energy tank is despair, is a total belief that nothing matters and all is lost. That's right next to suicide, and the suicide rate is climbing. I think about those policemen that were trying to hold back that angry crowd. And for whatever reason, some of them took their lives afterwards. They were so depressed that maybe they couldn't hold it back, that it was their job and they couldn't fulfill it. But we know they did the best they could. But their feelings of whatever was creating despair, and they took their lives. That's a very sad thing. So, anger can drain your energy, but when used to right a wrong, the euphoria at overcoming evil can refuel it. The basic reason for an expression of anger occurs because unresolved frustrations that a need has not been met. When one cannot verbalize a need, anger may result with building frustration. When the need still is not verbalized, it can become destructive. Raphael says, never allow another's anger or abuse or defamation to become acceptable actions. Physical and emotional offenses often are resolved in dissolution of marriages or the birth new or the birth of new laws against marital violence, and your system of justice is made clear in this matter. So, dear friends, we're talking about love, and those are all the impediments to love, all of those different kinds of things. So, we're looking for any comments from all of you. Please, we ask you to tell people about our channel, to subscribe so that you know when we are online, and that you tell others about it. We are here to bring you joy, and our connection with an archangel has been a lifelong experience, and it is right now time for everybody to pay attention to their own guardian angels and to know that you are never alone. There is always help to help you raise your energy barometer out of any kind of drainage from the negative emotions into a sense of pure love and joy. Don't look for it outside of yourself, dear friends. Look for it inside yourself and know that you will find unconditional love when you begin to accept yourself as perfect exactly the way you are. Can you do that? We suggest that you keep a journal of your emotional barometer. Talk about writing it, typing it. I'm good at typing. I type fast, so I would do that. And if you have any questions or you would like some guidance, there's our way of calling us. Email us at angelbettyray@gmail.com, and we will be more than happy to discuss with you whatever it is you wish to discuss. Raphael will come through me because I'm like a telephone for him. I'm not a medium, which means I can't talk to the dead, unless Raphael calls them forth, and it's Raphael that talks through them and helps them to express themselves. And I'm not a psychic. We don't predict the future. We can see a lot of things that go on. Raphael can see it. I can see it only when Raphael shares it with me. But I'm not the one doing it. I'm the channel. That's what that means. I'm the telephone. But Raphael has been so generous, and any time I call upon him, Excuse me. He is willing in that moment to speak with you. And at this point, we are not charging for anything. We have had so much given to us, we're giving it back free now. And we do appreciate donations, but they are certainly not expected. And we say to you, don't hesitate to email us at angelbettyray@gmail.com, and we will be more than happy to set up a phone conversation with you. If you live too far away for something like that, we do kind of an email where you ask your questions, and then we ask Raphael. Betty Ray asks Raphael, and Raphael gives the answer through me for you. Don't hesitate to call upon us. We are here to be of service to you. And our lesson today has been about emotions and how you can't escape them. They are all part of the human condition, and you do carry your emotions with you when you leave. When you are done with this physical body and you shed it, your spirit travels on and goes into the next dimension, which we call heaven. Everybody goes there. There are those who will get stuck in what we call the between world. There are those who cannot let go of a person, place, or thing. And there are people who have acquired great wealth, and they are like Scrooge. They can't leave the wealth behind, so they get stuck. They can't go to the spirit world. They can't come back to the physical world. And there they are, stuck between the two worlds. There are many people who are there who had such a time on the planet where they accumulated so much power, and suddenly they're in a world where there's everybody's equal, and it's like, what happened to all the power I have? I can't tell you to go do this and go do that because you don't have any power on the other side. And that's very frustrating for people who spend their lifetime accumulating power and money. They get none of it on the other side. Then what do? They only know how to control others through power and money. And when that control is gone, well, heaven isn't as happy as they would hope it to be. To really enjoy the other side, you have to let go of this world, the physical world of which is also the emotions. But the emotions that you leave behind are because of attachments to people, places, or things. And when you can detach and move on, you will know peace and unconditional love and just happiness, because that's why people call it heaven. This is your destiny, dear souls. Every one of you is destined to go to heaven. And so when people say at a funeral, oh, he or she is in a better place, that's most likely the truth, unless they were stuck in between. And the only reason they would be is because they have not given up the things of this world. They want the things of this world that they have accumulated. Like the story of Scrooge, until he was able to let go of all the material things and open his heart to a young family, he would have been stuck here, just as he had in his nightmares of the story of Scrooge. And so we say to all of you, don't be a Scrooge. Instead, let go of your need to be in power, to be in control of others, to make people love you or bow to you or do your bidding. Make it your own responsibility to create the world you desire, not to depend on anyone else. Make it your own and make it so that you are joyful about it. If you are a mature soul, and I say this to all of you who are listening, you would not be watching this channel, soul. If you were a baby soul, you wouldn't have anything to do with this show. And yet there are thousands of you who are watching. And we thank you for tuning into this channel. And we ask you to please subscribe and to please share your visions with other people and how we can help you as Raphael. Again, you see on the little thing there, you can see that you can get our book from Raphael. It's right there. Going to the, you go to Betty Ray, Amazon.com, and you use that information right there. and you will get Raphael's book, $14.44 plus shipping. It's a bargain. And we've been sharing it with you on these different days and talking about various things and letting Raphael bring the information through. And we are open to your questions. You can email us at angelbettyray@gmail.com and ask questions, and we'll bring it up next week on this show. Please don't hesitate to do so. Or if you desire to have a private reading with Raphael, just get a hold of us through our email at angelbettyray@gmail.com, and we will set up a time with you, and there's no charge. So we are here to be of service to you. That's why we're not charging. Frankly, we have been blessed so much in this lifetime that we figured it was, oh boy, we've got 5 minutes left. So we've just been given that little note there. So we're going to try to summarize. Today, we have spent our time talking about love and our range of emotions by which we are able to express ourselves in this world. Our emotions are always with us. We take them on the other side when we go. And so pay attention to what your emotions are and make sure that they are feeding your energy rather than depleting it. If you are not able to get out of bed because your emotions are on zero, your tank is empty, then the best thing you can do is conjure up a beautiful place in nature, in your mind, in your imagination, and go there in your mind until you are greeted by your angel. You feel that presence of joy, and you are joyful again because you know you are not alone. You have angels around you who are more than willing to help you when you ask. They cannot, I repeat, they cannot do anything for you unless you ask. Their hands are tied. Angels cannot intercede in your thought processes or your desires. You have to ask for help. You have to ask for divine wisdom, and then they can give it to you. So call upon Raphael, call upon Gabriel and Uriel and Michael and all the archangels, and ask them to intercede for you, to lift you up out of the darkness of despair and depression and all of those kind of emotions, and to let you feel joy again, to let you understand unconditional love so that you can give it to this world that needs it so badly. And so we say again to you, it is time for you to let go of your anger and your frustration and to accept the unconditional love that is sent to you by God. All you do is ask for it. All you do is open up to it by letting go of all of those negative emotions that steal your energy, that leave you feeling like you have been a waste of energy to even be born. And that's what happens when you totally get down into depression, that you are totally out of energy. And that's when people commit suicide. And I'm going to tell you right now, you commit suicide and it's a swinging door. You come right back in again and you have a same scenario set up, different body, different story, same scenario you'll have to go through emotionally until you can figure out how to change it. So, if you want an extra lifetime that you don't particularly want to have the same kind of problems, then solve them now. And if you can't solve them, get somebody to help you to solve them. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And don't be afraid to contact us because Raphael and Betty Ray are more than happy to be of service to you. And so we know we're probably running out of time again. We do say to each of you, be at peace. Know that you are unconditionally loved. There is no judgment for you. God knows that you are doing the very best you know how. And if you're angry about something, know that it means that you need to take action to change it. That you cannot keep going when you are feeling anger. You cannot take it out on somebody else. You need to figure out what action you need to take to be peaceful within yourself. If you are seeing an injustice, and do something about it. If that injustice is against you, don't accept it any longer. Once you open your mind to a solution, it will be given to you. And so we have to say goodbye for now because we're just about out of time. And we want to say to each of you, thank you for coming. Please subscribe and please tell others about our channel and this radio show. We love all of you. We love you for coming to visit us, and we thank you for being you. You are a light unto the world. If you have been with us, we know you are a being of light and that you are bringing joy into this world. So goodbye for now. Come back next week. Bye.